Hey everyone, it's Professor Clark, and in this lecture we are going to learn the endings for second conjugation verbs. So second conjugation verbs are very similar to first conjugation verbs, and in fact the personal endings, the markers for first person, second person, third person are the same. So for example, the is going to have sh, mягкий знак. The third person is all going to have ta, my is going to have m, вы is going to have tia. So those endings, those personal markers are the same. It's the vowel that goes before them that's different. And if you remember in first conjugation verbs, we had ye or your before the middle person. So ты, он, она, мы, and вы. In second conjugation verbs, we're going to have e before the middle person. So we're going to have e before the endings for ты, он, она, мы, and вы. Something else to know about second conjugation verbs is that all second conjugation verbs, with a few minor exceptions that we are not going to worry about right now, but all the second conjugation verbs that we're going to worry about right now have consonantal stems. So if you remember, first conjugation verbs can have either consonantal or vocalic stems or vowel stems. Second conjugation verbs almost always have consonantal stems. So let's look at the endings for second conjugation verbs. And we have here this chart for some very common second conjugation verbs: звонить, to call on the phone, and говорить, to talk or speak. So for the first person, for the ja form, we're going to chop off not just the infinitive ending, the te mягкий знак, but also the e before it. And we're going to add our u ending directly to the consonant. So звонить becomes я звоню. Говорить becomes я говорю. And we do the same thing with the other persons. So we chop off not just the te mягкий знак, but the vowel before it, and then we add our endings. So the ты form is going to be иш, ты звонишь, ты говоришь. The он, она form is ит, она звонит, он говорит. The мы form is им, мы звоним, мы говорим. The вы form has ите, вы звоните, вы говорите. And then the они form has ят. So notice how this is different from first conjugation verbs. Here we have ят, not ut or ют, but ят. Они звонят, они говорят. And you might ask about the infinitive of second conjugation verbs. So you may have noticed that both of these verbs have an infinitive that ends in it, звонит and говорит. That is very common for second conjugation verbs, but not all second conjugation verbs have an infinitive ending in it. So they can also end in yet, or sometimes, and we won't worry about this yet, but sometimes in other things like at or oit or some, there are other things going on that we don't need to worry about. Very frequently, the infinitive will end in it, but not all infinitives ending in it are second conjugation. Remember, жить is first conjugation. But if you see a multisyllabic verb and the infinitive ends in it, chances are good it's a second conjugation verb. So there you have your introduction to second conjugation verbs, and you can now conjugate most verbs you're going to encounter in Russian.